Welcome back. Your voice, your vote. Election day is under a month away now, and control of both houses of Congress is on the midterm ballot. 538's election forecast shows Democrats are slightly favored to keep control of the United States Senate, while Republicans are slightly favored to win back the House. ABC News congressional correspondent Rachel Scott has a closer look at where things stand.
With just 1 month to go, candidates are crisscrossing their states, making their final pitches to voters.
Send me to D.C., and I'll be that 51st vote.
Republicans are fighting to win back the House and the Senate, and they see the path to victory through several key battleground states. In Georgia, GOP leaders rallying behind Senate Republican candidate Herschel Walker, even as his campaign is rocked by controversy, facing allegations he paid a woman to have an abortion.
This here, the abortion thing is false. It's a lie.
Walker opposes abortion, no exceptions. His Democratic rival, Senator Raphael Warnock, making it clear he supports abortion rights.
I support reproductive choice. My opponent, on the other hand, is talking about a nationwide ban.
Pennsylvania talk show host and Republican candidate Dr. Mehmet Oz is facing off against Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, back on the campaign trail after suffering a stroke just months ago.
Oz doesn't care about Pennsylvania. Never has.
I'm the guy for change, and Pennsylvanians want change.
And in Nevada, vulnerable Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto is hoping to fend off GOP candidate Adam Laxalt, a former state attorney general.
Folks, we only have one shot to save this state and save America. Let's go out and get it done. Get out and vote.
Both parties framing this election as a referendum. For Republicans, it's all about the economy and inflation, while Democrats hope abortion rights will become a defining issue, playing out across the gubernatorial races, too. And election denials have been center stage this election. 538 found that 60% of Americans will have a candidate on the ballot who denies the election. We know this is especially critical in those gubernatorial and Secretary of State races, which will have a major influence on how elections are carried out in the future, Terry.
All right, Rachel Scott, thanks for that report. And for more on the midterms, I'm happy to be joined here on set with our political director, Rick Klein. Rick, let's look at the Senate first. You say 3 key races. Tell us about them.
Yeah, so if you look at just 3 races, and whoever wins 2 out of 3 of them controls the Senate. That's how it works in a 50-50 majority. The 3 that I'm most intensely focused on, and then I think national figures are as well, Pennsylvania, where Democrats have probably their best pickup opportunity. That's a state that Joe Biden carried 2 years ago, running with John Fetterman against Dr. Oz. That's a big opportunity for them. Out west, the Republicans' best opportunity is the state of Nevada. Catherine Cortez Masto, we just saw in Rachel's piece, probably the most endangered Democrat anywhere in the country. And then battleground Georgia, all this attention on the Herschel Walker scandal, because that could be the majority maker or the majority breaker, the one that determines it either way. This was a state that had 2 Republican senators at the beginning of the Trump administration. Now they have 2 Democrats. The question about whether that's a permanent fact or if that is just a consequence of the Trump years and some of the extracurriculars around the last election will be critical there. And that's why Republicans now are flowing into the state to try to demonstrate their support. They realize they really need to get that seat back.
And Ohio, let's talk about Ohio for a minute. I'm curious about that one. It's been a reliably Republican state. Now you've got the author J.D. Vance, hillbilly elegy against former Congressman Jim Ryan. How do you read that one?
Tim Ryan is just a better candidate. No way that you could look at this and look at the 2. It's like Tim Ryan is more in tune with the state and is working it hard and traveling around. And J.D. Vance comes in as a celebrity author, someone that got Trump's backing, although his politics have been kind of all over the map, was a never-Trumper. Harder to define. Bottom line is it's a red state. And it is very hard for Tim Ryan to overcome that. Their first debate is tonight. We're starting to see some other Democrats put some distance between themselves and President Biden. Republicans less likely to do that with Trump, for whatever it's worth. A lot more Democrats are scared of the Biden being associated with Biden than there are Republicans scared of Trump.
Well, his numbers are no good. But Trump did J.D. Vance no favors when he said at a J.D. Vance rally, he's kissing my behind. If I were a Democrat, I'd just run that, as an ad. I don't think people want that kind of toady. But we mentioned the polls, so we've got no idea whether they're right. Of course, my sense is that polls are broken at this point because they've been so far off. But Democrats are likely to lose the House, most polls show. So do you still think that's likely? Democrats hold the Senate and lose the House?
I think that's right. I think 538, which looks at polls as well as the fundamentals, the president's approval rating and what else is going on, campaign fundraising, endorsements. They look at a lot of different factors. That's what they see as the likeliest scenario. And I think that's probably where we are 4 weeks out.
Do you think, though, as I do, that there's just so many Americans, primarily on the conservative, on the right side, who just don't want anything to do with pollsters or the establishment at all, that it's really hard to tell what's happened?
Hard, but not impossible. I think it's better than nothing. It's better than the alternatives that we've got so far. I think, though, the thing to look for in polls, don't just look at the horse race, who's up, who's down. Look at the trends. Because if you've got 5, 6, 8 polls that tell you a gap is closing or that a candidate is surging, it tells you something, not nothing. It doesn't tell you who's definitely going to win and definitely going to lose, but it tells you where the conversation is. What are people thinking about, talking about? How are they processing information?
And the temperature, the movement. Now, one of those fundamentals, it was thought in the early summer, would be abortion.
Yeah.
Because the Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade. And we saw those remarkable, that remarkable referendum in Kansas and those special elections, all apparently driving Democratic turnout. Do you feel that's waned at all?
Only because it isn't top of mind in people's in people's psyche every day as you go about your life. And gas prices are a little bit higher now. Other events, other issues become bigger. Crime is a big one out on the airwaves in Republican ads across the country. So to keep that intensity, there's a lot of Democrats that wish they could have had the election 3-4 weeks ago when people were thinking about this more. That's not how it works. Now they've got another month to try to make that case that, yes, that is as urgent an issue as anything else facing someone that's going to the ballot box.
And for millions of voters, it is
sure
the #1 issue, but a lot of economic headwinds out there, too.
That's right.
Rick Klein, can't wait. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Terry.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.